Our project for today is looking at leaves, seeing lines, shapes, and the spaces between. Our big idea is nature's beauty. We will understand that art is a way to explore the beauty of nature. We will describe how lines mark edges and define shapes in artwork. We will create a drawing of observed leaves to meet our studio criteria. When artists look at nature carefully, they discover how beautiful it is. When we study the details in natural objects or a plant up close, we often notice things that we had not seen before. Artists sometimes paint large, detailed views of plants so that people who look at their art will notice and appreciate these beautiful details. You will have the opportunity to look carefully at leaves and draw what you see. You are going to make several choices about your artwork, beginning with what leaves you will choose to observe. You will also choose a way to arrange the leaves and leaf shapes into a design. And finally, you will choose to add lines inside the leaves and what colors to use if you choose to add colors. In this studio, we will apply the lessons we've learned in our previous art lessons this year. We will look closely at shapes and lines. We're going to be looking at artworks by the artist Georgia O'Keeffe. She really did a lot of different paintings with plants and leaves and zoomed in close to them and changed how they looked. Let's look a little bit more at her artwork. This is from Georgia O'Keeffe, and it's Yellow Leaves. I'd like for you to take your finger to the screen and trace around the outside of the leaf. Do both leaves. Make sure that you notice the zigzag or that sawtooth edge. Think about what kind of line would represent that. Look at the lines at the top of the leaf too. Notice how the lines on the inside all come together where the stem meets the bottom of the leaf. Also, you should notice how some of the lines branch out from other lines. You might be able to use this technique when you are drawing your own leaves. Georgia O'Keeffe really looked closely at the leaves when she was creating them for her paintings. Let's look at these photographs of real leaves. We have a houseplant leaf, a maple leaf, and ivy leaves. What do all these leaves have in common? And what differences can you see? Which leaves have curved lines, zigzag lines, and straight lines? Where are the thick and thin lines? Trace the shape of each type of leaf with your finger on the computer screen. You might need to zoom in on some of them and pause this video. Go ahead and do it. Now let's look at the color. What colors do you see? Where do you see more than one color in a leaf? If we look at C, it has yellow and red in it, where it kind of makes an orange. Which of these leaves is probably most likely a bug's view? Or what leaf do you think a bug would see? So if I'm looking at it, I would think probably B, because it's such a close-up view. Like if I was a bug on the leaf, I would be looking at this right now before I chomped on the leaf. At least that's my opinion. I really want you to notice the different lines that create the edge of the leaf and then the pattern on the inside of the leaf. All right, let's plan for our assignment. After this Google slide presentation is over, you're gonna need to go in your yard and collect about 3 to 6 leaves, maybe even get 10. Try not to damage any plants in your yard while doing this. Try to pick assorted shapes and colors. I want you to practice on a scrap piece of paper drawing different kinds of lines, especially thick and thin lines. How you hold the pencil or marker on the side will help you experiment with creating thick and thin lines. And how much pressure or how hard do you press down on the pencil or marker to create thick or thin lines? I want you to practice. Then when you're done practicing, think about how will your paper be? Will you turn it in landscape mode, like side to side, or will it be in portrait mode, up and down? some teachers call it hamburger or hot dog, but I try and think like an artist. And what shape of leaves will you use? Will you really try to make interesting selections? Keep that in mind. All right, here's our art assignment. There's a lot going on here, and I want you to listen. You're going to need to gather leaves from your yard. You're going to need paper from your art sketchbook, a pencil and eraser, and your choice of color medium, crayons, colored pencils, or markers. You will create an observational drawing of leaves. So that means you're looking directly at the leaves and drawing what you see. Try to draw large to fill up your paper. You will make a lot of choices for this project, so you will choose what leaves to draw and where and how they're arranged in your artwork. Study the leaves carefully like Georgia O'Keeffe did. Look closely at the leaves. Look at the lines on the inside and outside of each leaf. Show the outside lines of the leaf. Use thick and thin lines. Include different types of lines. And you may also color realistically if you have the supplies at your house. When you're done, put your artwork in the finish, take a picture of your artwork and post it to the media album for this project. All right, really think about your artwork when you're doing this in the leaves. I'm going to be looking for these things when I'm grading. The outside shapes of leaves were drawn with lines. Inside leaves are a variety of line types, and some leaves were drawn large. So please take your time and really practice when you're doing this. Good luck, and I can't wait to see your artwork.